What up, chat box?
Hey y'all.
Welcome back to another episode of the Bird's Eye View show. So we just gonna go back into looking at like the current updated news on the whole Biden Biden switching to Kamala, now Kamala versus Trump, woo, 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 bang bang, and give our opinions. So, if you're new here, go ahead and drop a like, become a subscriber, join the family. And if
Also, y'all, he meant Sparrows Reacts, not the first time.
no, it is a parody show.
You changed it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
I
never
did.
mind. Forget what I was saying.
Yeah, sorry about that. All right, let's get into it.
With President Biden expected to drop out of the 2024 election, some are rallying behind Vice President Kamala Harris.
No one knows better how to prosecute the case against Donald Trump than Kamala Harris.
She tried, remember, in 2020 in the Democratic primary, and we'll see if she's able to come out strong and then maintain that success this time around.
It does put us in a position to have a significantly more competitive election had Joe Biden stayed in the race.
Here's how Harris could stack up in a race against former President Donald Trump.
Donald Trump simply does not have the character to be president of the United States.
Experts say Harris could have a tough campaign trail ahead, but she does have some key.
I mean, I'm not gonna say like she's lying or it's untrue, but he did win, and he was the president of the United States. And last time you tried, you didn't even make it through to the finals. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying like she got handed the hook. She got handed this. You feel me? She didn't go through the whole process. But whatever.
advantages.
How do you win the presidency if you don't win the majority of white voters? You have to check off all of the other boxes.
One advantage Harris has is her potential to win over more women, people of color, and young voters.
We're going to be able to effectively make the case about women's health care, their right in terms of choosing how they want to live their lives.
This is a fight for freedom.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to hear Biden talk about women's, like an old white guy talking about women's rights. You know what I mean? It's like kind of hard to listen to it. I can definitely see how, you know what I mean? It's like she could actually grab those voters for real, because those voters are probably looking at Biden like, yeah,
Like, why
maybe
the
you
fuck
care.
is you talking
You
about?
feel me? Like,
Yeah. It's like you.
The fundamental freedom of a woman to make decisions about her own body.
A Wall Street Journal poll in April found that abortion was the most powerful issue by far driving suburban women in swing states. Over half of the women in the poll said Trump's policies on abortion were too restrictive. Some Democrats and political experts also expect Harris to invoke more excitement from black voters.
okay, so like, I do want to provide a little bit of clarity. So, and if I'm wrong, correct me, and don't feel shy about correcting me in the comments. I'm here to be corrected if I'm wrong. But them giving the power, like what they did with the whole abortion thing, was they took the power away from federal regulation and gave it back to the states. So that means like there are states that are like lax and don't really care about what you do with your body at all. And it's just I mean, like, I know it sounds a little harsh, but it's like, and it's not just harsh, it's impossible for a lot of people to just move to another state or go to another state where it's possible.
Well, a lot of the times the doctors in that other state won't take you if you're not an actual resident. So that also makes it hard if you can't afford to just move to a whole nother state. Just going to another state to get the abortion isn't really an
Well, there's
option.
also clinics specifically for
Well, yeah,
that, though.
there
You
is
know what I mean?
that.
And like I'm only saying this because like just because it's such a hot button topic, I kind of decided like let me put myself in the shoes. Let me see if I needed to go like get this done, how hard it would be for me or my sister or my cousin or something like that. And like if you really look through your resources, they like people actually, like, there are, services that offer transportation resources just to get you to a clinic that'll help you out, and things like that. So it's like, if we're gonna live in a world where people are making it harder, or changing the way that you need to do things, then you gotta look for those ways to do it. Don't just argue against it, because there's gonna be a lot of things that happen that you're against or you don't like, and you feel like that, should be different, and it's just not. It's just not gonna be like that. So I encourage you to, if you are in a situation where that these decisions are against you, I encourage you to, go crazy, get into a real deep dive of what your resources actually are, because there are actually a lot of resources for women out there. But,
A critical advantage at a time when support from that group was slipping for Biden.
As an African American woman, she's going to have a unique opportunity in terms of how she communicates and has a conversation with voters in Detroit, Michigan, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. These urban centers are really where we're going to need historic turnout to consolidate around Kamala, so that way we win these critical swing states.
Harris could stand to gain younger voters who had lost confidence in Biden's ability to beat Trump.
Kamala Harris gets to be the knight in shining armor here. She gets to ride in on the horse and be the candidate that is not Joe Biden, that can carry the policies and ideas of Joe Biden without some of the concerns that led to Joe Biden's decision to remove himself.
Today, not tomorrow, not next week. Today is the day I hope you will donate to.
A July poll by Emerson College, conducted before the assassination attempt on Trump, found that people between the ages of 18 and 29 were the least motivated to vote. Biden was still leading the Democratic ticket at the time of the poll.
It's the younger Democrats, which is, in my opinion, the base of the party. And it's more than just voting. It's about canvassing. It's about phone calling. It's about get out the vote efforts.
We cannot do it without all of your help.
All of this is part of the campaign that I think was lacking with Biden, and that's why we have Harris, to see if we can capture that energy that has been missing.
yeah, see, that's what I was talking about in the last episode. Like, she's able to bring a different energy to the Democrats right now. Like, as you saw in that last clip, she's like, like dancing, walking with the parade and whatnot. Like, you not finna catch Biden doing that. Like, he gonna fall and then it's over. So it's like not only was she handed it, but she is, I guess not really uniquely, but it's just like you could have put anybody there, and they would have, Democrats would have got more excited, because the bar was set really low with Biden. You know what I mean? Like that was set in hell.
Harris actually channels a lot of the candidate characteristics and features of Obama that generated this excitement in 2008.
He was awesome. He was brilliant. Just what I was looking for.
This is a young candidate of color that is going to sell us on a vision of America that is multicultural, that is more unified.
By the way, I don't like Obama. He didn't do good things for the world.
That is moving into a new future.
At 59 years old, Harris is significantly younger than...
All Obama really did. I mean, like, yeah, you I know y'all gonna hit me with a whole bunch of other stuff in the comments. I hear you, but all Obama really did was set up a whole bunch of military bases in Africa. It's the biggest thing he did.
And legalize gay marriage.
But I feel like that was gonna happen anyway. We're in 2024 now.
I mean, eventually.
It's like, he was the one to do it. I'll give him that. I'll give him that for sure. I'll give him that. He legalized gay marriage, but I feel like just with the rhetoric that was going on in America at the time, whoever was in the office was gonna need to do that. You feel me? It's like, would some other candidates have done it? Maybe not, but it's the fact that the people voted for the person that they thought that would do that. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like anybody that would have been in the position to do that would have got pushed to do that, if you understand what I'm saying. So like, I'll give that to Obama, but it's like he didn't really have a choice. He was a Democrat. You know what I'm saying? It's like as a Democrat, whatever Democrat was in that position was gonna have to legalize gay marriage. So,
Biden, who's 81.
We get to go coast to coast without worrying about her energy level in terms of hitting critical media markets.
Some political experts say Harris's background as a prosecutor helped her come off as a strong debater in her 2020 presidential campaign.
You know, there was a little girl in California who was part of the second class to integrate her public schools, and she was bused to school every day. And that little girl was me.
This becomes a moment where Harris looks extremely strong. Suddenly, she goes from polling in the single digits to close to 20%.
And after her vice presidential debate with Mike Pence, polls showed that more voters thought she won.
Well, let's get
but Susan, this is important. I want to add, but Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking. I'm speaking.
Experts say that in a race against Trump, she needs to replicate that debate success.
You also have to be very careful because we've never seen someone survive an assassination attempt and then step onto the debate stage, talk about this openly as a signal of love of country. How will Kamala Harris handle the events that have catapulted Trump's popularity and favorability amongst his base?
Recent polls like this one by Emerson College show Harris significantly trails Trump.
What we've seen over the last year when Biden was on the ticket is Trump had a ceiling of about 46%. Never does he really go above that number, not before the conviction, after the conviction, post-debate. Biden was losing ground or gaining ground, but not being able to get over 45%. Can a Harris candidacy get over 45, 48%? What she really needs to do is get closer to 50%, and that could give the Democrats the edge.
But polls only capture voters' feelings at a specific moment in time. And these results came in before the assassination attempt on Trump and before Biden dropped out of the race.
I'll tell you what, support for Trump went through the roof after that. I'd say that chart probably look a lot different now. Like he'll probably busted through that little ceiling now, because I know just from looking at news outlets and social media, support for him went through the roof in all types of different communities after the assassination attempt somehow. And I mean, like, it said that his like that chart and that woman said that it didn't go up after the conviction, but like I don't think that's actually true. Like I literally know people, I know people that was like, nah, never mind, I fucks with him now, he's a felon. You know what I mean? Like real deal Holyfield. So like I don't think that that's actually 100% accurate. He definitely got more support after the conviction too.
Looking at these polls,
he's a felon is actually wild.
It's wild,
like,
crazy
wild
polls prior to the announcement, these are hypothetical candidates, and we ask voters who really haven't taken much time to think about these individuals, so they give you a knee-jerk reaction generally based on name recognition. True. With Harris, you see lower numbers in some of these demographics, but over the course of a few weeks, I expect to see them bounce back in her favor.
I'm Millie, a content creator, coach, and business owner. If I had started my business from zero, I would have focused.
But in a toe-to-toe race against Trump,
y'all need to subscribe so we get our own ads and we don't get interrupted by that, you feel me?
Experts say Harris would need to prove that she's a strong leader, something 44% of voters said they were looking for in a candidate, according to a poll by Monmouth University.
Donald Trump, this is a person that is not shy on confidence.
Nobody knows the system better than me.
With people who are already sort of ideologically aligned and therefore also see Trump as an effective leader, he's in a prime position to demonstrate this idea of, I am the leader of the free world. With Kamala Harris, what will be her I am the leader of the free world moment?
The biggest concern for Harris will be immigration.
My trip to Guatemala and Mexico was about addressing the root causes.
She's going to have to defend those policies.
Kamala had one job, and that was to fix the border. Now imagine her in charge of the entire country.
But at the end of the day,
that's a very good point. That is a very good point. You were given one job, 4 years, didn't do it.
They opened that bitch.
They opened that mother. What? Opened that bitch. What? She turned the other cheek. She said,
She didn't want to deal with it.
What? Valid point. Valid point.
Some experts say this is a race based on personalities, not policies. And Harris replacing Biden would force the Trump campaign to change its offensive strategy.
Trump has spent so much time the last 3.5 years on Biden.
Could you imagine if Biden was up here and the teleprompters didn't work?
And we'll see how he's able to make his case against Harris.
They can't decide which of their candidates is more unfit to be president, sleepy, crooked Joe Biden or laughing Kamala.
Harris entering the race now would be the latest a candidate has joined a presidential election since 1968. Biden had been the presumptive nominee since March.
This creates questions around how well organized the Democratic Party may be.
It's a very short onboarding process.
It's not organized at all. It's a shit show over there. They just let Biden do all the. And the thing is, I don't even say let. They just shady as hell because they probably playing this entire thing. You know what I mean? Playing this whole sequence of events out just so they get Kamala there easier. You feel me? Get her past the point that she failed at last time. You know what I mean?
Joe Biden, Donald Trump, they've been around. While Vice President Harris has had an extensive career, it's certainly not nearly as long as these other two candidates.
But a big question remains. Who would Harris pick to be her vice president?
It's going to be very important both regionally and demographically because she needs to shore up some of her base.
That decision might be the key to what experts say is Harris's best path forward.
The Obama coalition that we saw in 2008. Can you bring that group back together?
That's a coalition of robust historical turnout African Americans dominating amongst Latinos and really holding your own amongst white voters and rural voters so that way there's no more bleed to the Republican Party.
What the Democrats really liked was President Obama in his ability to articulate ideas and talk to groups of people and get them excited.
Yes, we can.
If candidate Harris is able to speak with that confidence and be able to rally groups with her voice, would be an exceptional game changer in this race.
It's actually funny.
Before Hack Reactor, I was delivering appliances and driving a truck, and now I'm a senior software engineer.
All right, so this right here,
as the new race for the White House.
This right here is an updated polling, and apparently they're tied. So let's see what they're talking about.
Heats up between former President Trump and Vice President Harris, a new group of battleground state polls showing just how tight the race is. Trump and Harris tied in Michigan and Pennsylvania, Trump inside the margin of error with a 1-point lead in Wisconsin, and Harris leading Trump in Minnesota by 6 points outside the margin of error. The vice president improving on President Biden's battleground standings before he left the race.
Hello, Bitcoiners.
The former president stumping for support in Nashville today at a Bitcoin conference.
Laying out my plan to ensure that the United States will be the crypto capital of the planet.
Talking up cryptocurrency, but also...
See, I like that. I ain't gonna lie. That speaks to me.
Money, 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 money.
I'm not a fan of U.S. regulation on crypto. No, not a fan at all. But it's gonna, like I was talking about earlier, it's gonna happen anyway. So, I want the greedy mug heading it up. What you mean? Just saying.
Blasting his competitor for the White House.
She's a radical left lunatic.
That after a Friday night speech hitting Vice President Harris on the Biden administration's border policy.
Millions of people crossing it.
But that wasn't me endorsing Trump. I'm not endorsing any candidate. That's not that.
She was the border czar. Now they're trying to say she never was the border czar.
Trump, for the first time this weekend, not wearing a bandage on his wounded ear. The FBI late Friday clarifying that the former president was in fact hit by a bullet or fragments from a bullet 2 weeks ago. The Republican nominee also announcing on social media that he will...
What the fuck you mean by or?
I feel like this is information that we should know, like, for sure. Like, these shouldn't be or maybe...
Y'all heard that right? He said or. Why would he mean he was hit by a bullet or a bullet fragment? Mighty suspicious, huh? Okay.
Will continue to do outdoor rallies. Vice President Harris also on the campaign trail this weekend, headlining an 800-guest fundraiser in Massachusetts, raising more than $1 million, according to a campaign official.
And ours is a fight for the future. And it is a fight for freedom.
Harris also sending a recorded message to the Gen Z-led Voters of Tomorrow Summit in Atlanta.
And we know your vote cannot be taken for granted. It must be earned, and that is exactly what we will do.
Lester, tonight here in St. Cloud, Minnesota.
It's like, I wish that this was the first time we saw Kamala. You know what I mean? Like for me as a voter, I honestly wish, because I don't want to feel like I'm being biased against Kamala, but it's like, shorty, you had time in the office to do shit. We had, like, right now we could be talking more about your accomplishments. You want to talk about her being a prosecutor? You know what I mean? Black people she locked up. Stop playing with me. Listen, we will. I want you to talk about what you did already. That's what's going to tell me what you might be able to accomplish or do. Because all this we will, I don't want to hear it, especially from somebody that's already been in the office.
Donald Trump and his running mate J.D. Vance are rallying supporters in this 6,000-seat arena. This is a state that hasn't gone Republican for president in 52 years, and tonight these two men hope to change that. Lester?
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I don't think Kamala's truly convinced me yet. For real, if I'm being honest, I think that she may turn out to be a wonderful candidate for presidency that does amazing things, you know, for the country and brings us into a time of prosperity. But I just don't believe it yet. I don't know. Now, if you want a good economy, that's the forefront of what you're thinking, you probably want Trump. If the forefront of your opinion is like women's rights, and you're probably more on the Kamala side.
Yeah.
Now, that's not to say that like either one is more important than the other. It's just you're probably living a different, idealist. You're living a different lifestyle of ideals, and I mean that's perfectly fine and okay. I would just like one of these candidates to have candor more towards both. You know what I mean? Like I'd love to have a both. I mean, of course I'm not all the way convinced by Trump. I'll never be all the way convinced by Trump, but I will say we have experienced his presidency already, and we know what it's like. That's familiarity. You know what I mean? So it's like with Kamala, it's slightly unfamiliar territory. So maybe with some more her speaking, maybe she'll be able to convince me that she can do the job. But I don't know. I don't really trust either of them right now.
I don't understand that she had 4 years to fix the border and they opened it.
I'm saying they flooded it.
Why
and
was opening it your solution?
And our Social Security's bumped. Our Social Security is bumped. You know what I mean? It's like Social Security's gonna run out in the next 20 years.
And then you keep hearing her say things about like trying to do things for like women's rights and stuff like that, but it's like at the same time you were vice president for 4 years and it's still the same. So like,
you know what I mean?
I mean, I get that shit takes time, but 4 years is a long time, shawty.
Yeah, no, and it's like she ain't done nothing extrally major. You know what I mean? It's like.
Yeah. I mean, I get you having a hard time believing that she's saying, because honestly,
and like like she just said, it's not like we're expecting her to just snap her fingers and make magic happen. You know what I mean? Of course, there's a lot of red tape to go through, but we watched Trump bust through a lot of red tape. You feel me? It's like it's not certain things aren't. It's not impossible. You're the leader of the free world. Or secondary leader of the free world. You was vice president. She basically been the leader of the free world this whole time. You feel me? Like she's second to to Biden. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm pretty sure there was a lot of things going through her instead of Biden, because it was like, nah,
that nigga not.
You feel me? It's like, so it's not like she hasn't been in a position of power this whole time. And what we're saying is we just don't trust her based off of her actions already.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I want to be able to. I really hope she would do the shit that she's saying she's gonna do. But
like, she'd be an amazing candidate if, you know what I mean. Like I said, if this was our first time seeing her, you know what I mean. Like, it would be way less of a question if, you know, if this is my first time seeing her. It would just be like, it would just be more so of like, okay, what do you think about the economy? What do you think needs to happen with the economy? Then it would just be, what are your questions? Right now, it's just like, I know she ain't thinking about it. She barely mentions it. You know what I mean? So it's just like, you know. But we're gonna stay updated and keep coming to y'all with you know, her talkings and speeches, and we'll see what Trump be talking about. But Trump usually be talking about the same stuff. It don't really be updating with Trump. It's really we really just going to learn as much as we can about Kamala Harris before everybody starts casting their votes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Trump just be being shady.
Just be being shady. All you do is throw slick shots. But if you're not already subscribed, make sure you go ahead and hit that button and then that little bell icon next to it, so you get notified when we drop more
It's like
episodes.
right up over there.
Like right there. And then like another video, and then gonna pop up right here in the corner. And
you
then
might as well go ahead and click that right there.
There's another one over there too.
So
you
click
might
that
want to
one too.
Click it. All right,
Just
I
click
love
everything.
y'all. Make sure you're kind to somebody today. I'm gonna catch y'all on the next one.